crisscross, Muslim, Taekwondo, Hindu, Ninju. Ah! God's Gang, an animated concept that I stumbled across months ago on Twitter, and it just kind of made me numb. I was dumbfounded at what I was seeing, because at that moment, I couldn't help but ask myself, is this for real?
Do you know how long ago my bar mitzvah was?
Aw, someone could use a lolly.
Huh.
Because on the surface, what you have here is something that you would see as like a parody on South Park. As a matter of fact, they did that. Like the religious super friends, that's what this feels like, except take that concept, all right, of the religious super friends, but treat it more like Captain Planet. Boom, that is God's Gang.
Crisscross is strong and kind combined. Sumo Slim stories are hypnotizing. Taekwondo Hindu reads animals' minds while ninjas overanalyzing.
You got this interfaith religious team of crime fighters and superheroes. You get the Christian guy, you got the Muslim guy, Islamic, I guess. You got the Hindu girl, and you got the Jewish guy. And yeah, on the surface, I was like floored. I'm like, this is satire. It has to be satire. There's no way this is for real. But I watched the first episode on YouTube, and I was like blown away because these folks are legit.
Have you heard about the Muslim, Christian, Jew, and Hindu that walked into hilarious adventures? Saving the world together.
God's Gang, go!
Well, let me tell you all about it.
Also, by the way, this intro for the cartoon, gotta give props. It's really catchy. Now, I have to ask, is a show like God's Gang offensive? Is it ignorant? Is it tone deaf? Are these stereotypes being used here? Or is this just simply misplaced good intentions? Well, let's see what Twitter has to say. I asked my Twitter, I'm like, hey, what do y'all think about this show? And I got a few replies to go off of. Got somebody said, I fuck with it. Got somebody here, Gina, saying it kind of screams guilty pleasure to me, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's over the top and ridiculous, but I just can't help but laugh at it. Command Line Volpin says, it feels like the world's most elaborate trolling attempt. RVL here says, Ninju. Peter here says, wait, this is real? Sir Zapperty Official, Sir Sparity, says some people feel it's offensive, but they're not trying to be offensive. The shows and the creator's message is actually really wholesome. And yeah, if you scrub down throughout these replies, you see a lot of folks who are like, it's offensive, it's offensive, it's offensive, it's ignorant, it's naive, it's offensive.
But what are they so mad about?
And I thought long and hard about God's Gang. Because I was thinking, I have all these mixed feelings watching this show. Is it good or is it good? Or is it bad or is it bad? You know what I'm talking about? Or maybe I'm just too cynical, and so is the entire internet. Maybe we're just too hateful nowadays to have something of this wholesomeness, even though it's misplaced, put into our world. Now let's say that God's Gang is wholesome. Let's say it has good intentions. Here's the thing that's a problem. I think the world, and especially the internet, just far too cynical for something like this. Even if you meant it well, the entire web is gonna look at it and say, ha, absolute garbage, how dare you even try, even if you meant it in a good way. Because that's just, the world for you.
Too bad, because stealing animals is a taekwondo don't.
Boy, you better believe I have my opinions about this show, but don't expect me to cover all about religion in this video. It's not happening. This is a quick vid, quick impressions, and that's about it. As far as talking about the intricacies of the Christianity to Islam to Judaism, that's gonna require at least a 20-minute episode with another sponsor in it. Another sponsor, he says. What's he talking about? I'm talking about this sponsor. Boom. What is HelloFresh? Why, it's America's #1 meal kit that makes cooking at home fun, easy, and affordable. HelloFresh delivers seasonal recipes and fresh, pre-measured ingredients right to your door. No need to stress about meal planning. Everything you need is prepared, delicious, and saves you time and money. Like, for real, guys, stop lying to yourself about ordering fast food and take out all the time. I know that life. It's a lie. Stop living it. It really adds up. You think you're saving money. You're not. Look at your wallet. It's empty. Don't do it. But with HelloFresh, you'll eat better and save money. Plus, you'll sharpen your cooking skills. That's like always attractive. You want to be able to be like, hey, I can cook for myself. I'm not depending on lean cuisines or Taco Bell at 2 in the morning. Like, we've all been there, but you can't do it too often or you will become human sludge. And you know what else you'll save? Time. There are days where I wish I could just jump into the kitchen and cook, but oh no, I gotta go grocery shopping. There goes an hour of my life. But with HelloFresh and their measured meals, you're good to go. Follow the step-by-step recipe with the already pre-portioned ingredients and boom, it's dinner time. On top of that, HelloFresh offers a wide variety of meals to pick from with over 45 dinner options, plus many of these meals fit within a healthy lifestyle. So you'll be saving time, saving money, and eating better too. As an adult in his mid-30s, that is music to my ears. Also, HelloFresh is offering breakfast for life. That's right, you get one free breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. Now, who doesn't love free breakfast? Come on. So click the link in the description down below. Or use my code and get free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. Thank you again, HelloFresh, for sponsoring this video. Go hit them up today. On that note, back to the video.
Now, let's get to work.
So, who made God's Gang? Well, the man in charge is Nimrod Abraham May, which, by the way, he's a really nice guy. Like, I was kind of like guarded at first, but I'm like, this guy, he has to be fooling me, right? God's Gang feels like the world's greatest shitpost in disguise. But we spoke for like an hour, and I gotta say, the guy really has his heart set on making this show in a very altruistic way.
We're coming with these stories that are action-based and adventure and fellowship, joining unity, but sometimes you need to kick butt for God's sake. It's not a show about religion. We're not preaching towards any kind of faith. We're favoring everyone as long as they hold the right values.
But the question I really had was, why? Why make God's Gang?
I want my daughters, I want the future generation and myself to live in a place where we join hands based on shared connections and shared values.
Of course.
And as a parent, the only way for me to educate my kids is being the person I want them to be.
Well, what about the mission statement for God's Gang? It's actually up on their website. Here, we got it right here. The problem: global forces exploit these divisions using fear to gain power. This creates a climate where hate thrives, overshadowing our shared humanity, and increases our willingness to do bad things to each other, leading to hate crimes, terrorism, and war. Oh, but we got a solution here. Our solution? God's Gang is our antidote, an entertaining and educational series emphasizing our commonalities and celebrating cooperation. God's Gang emerges as a beacon of hope. This animated series, designed for young children and young adults, uses humor and adventure to teach important lessons about friendship and peace. These lessons provide protection against fear-based manipulation and... I didn't copy the rest of the sentence. I don't know what the rest of it says. And Reddit moderators. There we go, I'll just fill in the blank.
Now we're even madder scientists!
So my entire impression from Nimrod is a gentleman who really wants to make art, to speak his piece, speak his mind about the turbulent world of religion and how so often we're at odds. That you can't deny that. Now, how he's going about doing it, in my opinion, is difficult. At least difficult to take serious. That's the challenge. That's the uphill battle here.
Too much noise. I can't get through.
But hey, he's not deterred. He's crowdfunding. He's halfway there. And I'm trying to beg him right now. I'm like, please don't do 22-minute long episodes. Please do 10-minute long episodes. There's not enough writing per 22-minute episodes to cover here unless you get really serious about it. I mean, tonally speaking. Which at that point, it's not really meant for kids. It's more for like young adults. Which of course was part of the mission statement, but I don't think young adults are gonna dig this show. I don't think kids are really gonna dig this show. It just, I don't know who this is for. I really don't know who would dig this. It seems more like adults look at it and go, well, that's a conversation piece, but that's about it.
What are these Meshuggah aliens up to this time?
But let's talk about the episode itself, okay? The show starts off with the intro with our 4 main characters. Crisscross, Taekwon Hindu, Sumuslim, and then Ninju. When I first saw the intro and I saw Ninju, I couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, this has to be a joke. But no, it's like, this is it. This is Ninju. Again, it should have been jujitsu. Just saying.
It may look weird, but it works.
So the episode has our 4 main characters, like, not having to go to Sunday school and instead going to a theme park. While there, Ninju wants to go on the roller coaster, but he's almost too short. He's like just tall enough. And the entire theme of this episode is Ninju being too small.
I hate being small.
You're fine, Ninju.
Feeling like a kid, feeling like he's lesser than the other 3 heroes. And by the way, these heroes kick some atheist scientist ass. Now, I actually don't know if these scientists are supposed to be, like, atheist, but, like, that's kind of the impression I get. It's like, the interfaith religious group is here, and who's our first foe? Scientists. Nerds. Beat them up. Reddit moderators.
When we were kids, no one would play with us.
But now, you kids don't have a choice.
As the episode goes on, they get contacted by Dogma, which, for the record, it's a great character. It's a great name. I really dig, like, this design. It's really good. And there's something about aliens stealing blue whales to, like, power their, like, the smell of their planet, because their planet smells bad. Apparently, blue whales make good smells, I guess. Isn't this the plot of Avatar 2, actually? James Cameron's gonna be like, did God's gang steal from me?
We need to stock up and steal all the whale's wonderful aroma, or else our planet will continue to stink.
It wasn't me, it was the planet.
The tone is, it's naive. You know, I've said it over and over, but that really is it. It's innocent. It's kind of not too clever, not too sharp. There's some jokes in here where I'm like, oh, that's a pun. Like Crisscross, when he fights, he has a move called turn the other cheek, which is something in the Bible and something Christians should do. But it's an attack or defense. It's a maneuver that Crisscross uses. They all have their own little superpowers and like gadgets that are like respectively themed to their religion, which is, I'll be real, that's really funny to me. Part of the amusement of this show to me is just watching and going, what can they come up with? What is next?
Sounds like it's harmony time. يا الله بدونك أنا ما بسوى شيء.
Amazing
بدونك أنا ما بسوى.
As far as the humor goes, it's plain. As far as like the dialogue goes, it's plain. The animation, for the record, I think it's fine. I think it's actually really solid. And these designs aren't bad. The background characters are a little bit wonky. And some of the villains are kind of weird too. But these main characters, I've seen worse. I've seen better, but I've seen worse.
What if we become one with the whales?
So how does this episode end? Well, it has our 4 heroes fighting the aliens, beating them, and they save the whales and have a party in the ocean. And also, there's a Finding Nemo reference in the show, because why not? We need an Easter egg for good measure.
Isn't your daddy looking for you?
So yes, I guess overall, for God's Gang, it's just, I can't let down my guard. There's this wall between me and it, where I go, okay, you tried, and you meant it, but who's this for? I know you said it's for kids and young adults, but like really though, who's it for? Because I feel like for the folks who subscribe to these faiths, I don't think they're gonna jam on this show. I just feel like they're like, we're good, we're gonna pass. I would love to see this show pitched at a church of evangelicals. Like, I would love to see that. I grew up as a Christian. I grew up going to churches, and I wonder how they would receive God's Gang if it was brought to them being handed out for free. They would probably look at it and go, oh, what's this, New World Order schmut? Get out of here. I'm not trying to profile, but I knew a lot of Christians growing up and families who felt that way, that any other religious presence is a threat. And that's where it really gets me upset, because I'm like, this show seems kind of dumb and ignorant. Man, the world sucks. It's almost like the world sucks so hard that seeing a show like this exist and we were like, this is dumb, makes me go, well, what does that say about us as a species? Maybe Nimrod's right. Maybe we do need God's gang. Maybe we need to get along. You can't fault the guy for trying. You can't fault the guy for his intentions, even if you think they're misplaced. He wants to do some good. He wants to introduce some good to the world, put it out there, and get a conversation going. And you can't fault a person for peace. You just can't. Even if it is ignorant, it's much more preferred than violence and doing damage. Like, religion's hard to talk about. It's just so hard, especially interfaith religion.
But we had the day off.
Sorry to cut off your important cotton candy business, Sumo Slim, but do you think Evil takes a day off?
Probably Wednesday. Nobody wants to come to work on Wednesday.
Well, it's Tuesday.
So I give the guy props for trying. Yes, I can understand folks who say this is a stereotype. The tone is misplaced and makes us look foolish. It's not being respectful to the topic matter. Yeah, okay. But look at VeggieTales. It's talking Christian vegetables, and that's one of the best Christian shows ever made. So I think maybe there's a concept here, but I think the way I would do it is make it for older kids, all right? Get serious with it. Talk about all the warts and all of religion and show how bad it gets, but how through it there can be a dialogue of these characters banding together saying, yes, the world sucks. Yes, each respective religion has its own violent tendencies. However, we're gonna keep persevering. But as it is, being a super friends group, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. And to pitch this to distributors and companies, I don't know. Maybe it's the shock value. Imagine seeing a full series of this on Netflix. Wouldn't that just be something? I don't know if it's gonna happen. Because again, religion's kind of seen as talking about it, good or bad, is problematic. They're like, let's just ignore it. Let's not talk about this. Let's just do something else. The 28th season of Family Guy. We'll go with that instead. But overall, Nimrod, I do have respect for you for trying. I'm curious how this plays out. Maybe someday I'll come back to God's gang and be blown away by its improvement and growth and direction. But you gotta get there first. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna come up with my own God gang Sona. Do agnostic people have a Sona? God's gang Sona doesn't exist, but it also does kind of exist. Is there one for Buddhist? Is there one for Scientologist? Oh, God's gang. If anything, he gave us Ninju, and that's all that matters.